You are asking the wrong generation. I'll go ahead and answer. Judging by your Trump flag and conservative hashtag, it looks like you and anybody else who agrees with you can use a bit of a reminder that we are not in the 1950s where women are expected to sit down, be polite, and speak when spoken to. No, these are the days where even with being polite, it still leads to that 97% you claim not to like. We know not all men sexually assault women, but when not 1 in 3, not 1 in 4, but 1 in 5 women experience sexual assault, it's enough to keep anybody on their guard 24/7. And let's be clear, saying no and setting boundaries is not impolite. You'd call a man who does such a thing a king. I pity any children you influence. So while you go ahead and teach little girls to be polite, I'll be teaching my future daughter to make sure she's treated like a damn queen.
If men can't control themselves, seeing women in skirts, who let them control whole countries?
Silence, you fool!
In this world who are literally drop-dead gorgeous, intelligent, funny, compassionate, amazing creatures of God who will settle for a guy who looks like a thumb, has an acorn-sized brain, and the personality of an expired tortilla chip. Honey, why are you settling for this guy? Actually, I know why. It's because somehow in your mind you've convinced yourself that you can't do better, that you don't deserve better, that if a better guy were to come along, he wouldn't be interested in you, and I am here to tell you that that is a lie. There are millions of men in this world who would give their left arm to have your queen level of energy in their life. So why are you settling for the guy whose most impressive quality is draining the energy out of a room just by being there? Honey, no, your standards are way down here and they need to be way up here. I am talking Harry Styles king level energy. That is what you should aspire to have because that is what you deserve. And in the meantime, I want you to pay attention to those voices in your head telling you you're not good enough. I'm here to tell you that you are. You deserve the world.
Bullshit.
Men tend to choose higher paying jobs like doctor, lawyer. Women tend to choose lower paying jobs like female doctor, female lawyer.
The stupidest thing a man has ever mansplained.
I love when men mansplain things to me because then I get to respond to it. And I've crafted so many perfect responses to mansplaining. I'd like to share them with you. Here's my first and favorite one when they explain something to you that's just blatantly obvious. And if it's so obvious, let's remember that has nothing to do with us and everything to do with them. Sometimes I'll just ignore it because I'm thinking, oh, you must not have known that recently. That's kind of cute. But if I want to call them out on it, I'll just go, yeah. So when did you learn that? They just go, and if they get real defensive, well, I've always known that. Then I get to go, so then why would you think that I wouldn't? Okay, but also when they explain something to you that you just said, like they explain back to you something you just said, then I go, yeah, that's so great. I'm so glad that you understood what I was saying. That's perfect. Good job. They get so mad. Okay, or when they're just being a total dick and they're mansplaining and you get to go, that's almost right.
I don't know who needs to hear this today, but there is no such thing as a leaked nude. 1, if your nude is behind a paywall like OnlyFans, it is copyright infringement. OnlyFans will fight for you. 2, if your nude was taken or sent in private, that is revenge porn. And as of 2019, it's illegal in most states and countries where social media is prominent. In 2019, one of my girls came to me and said that her ex was threatening to leak her nudes. She played me his voicemail and I fucking laughed. Homeboy left his full name and threat on a recorded message. Usually I'm not very supportive of the police if that's not obvious, but in this situation I told her to call. She filed completely over the phone, never met with an officer, and he never saw her face. That officer called the dumbass and told him that he was facing a felony in his state. Basically, the dumbass wet himself and never contacted her again. But if you don't want to go that route, you can always get a lawyer. I know even that sounds like, how can I do this? But for my she's, theys, and gays out there, if you're in an abusive situation or they're committing crimes against you, some lawyers in your city will work for free.
Who's one person that just runs through your mind every single day? Who is it?
Just because I'm disagreeing with you saying no and not accepting any of your bullshit doesn't mean I'm a bitch or that I'm on my period. Thank you.
Why is being polite to men so hard to do?
Say it with me, boo. I am not responsible for protecting others from the consequences of their own actions. Is that our job? Is that what we do? Especially when the cost of that is self-betrayal.
My little sister is 16 and she's like a ninth wave feminist. She is addressing stuff that we haven't even begun to think about. The other day she looked at me and she said salmonella was made up by people who hate women.